Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show. Give you 3 or 4 interesting tech and science stories in almost 20 minutes. Do you have a tattoo? You might be violating copyright law. We're going to talk about that one. It's a pretty crazy story. Today, I have Anne from the Dania Beach Library. How are you doing, Miss Anne?
I'm doing very well.
I have not seen you in forever, it feels like.
I know.
I think it was beach cleanup back in April was the last time I saw you. Maybe.
I don't know about that. I wasn't there.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, it was a long time. It feels like forever. So Dania Beach is a nice, great little neighborhood library. I really want to, but tell people what you do as a branch manager.
What I do as a branch manager, it could be anything. Today, I'm finding myself here in Tech Talk. So
we appreciate
it. I meet with customers, talk to community members, work at the information desk, help out wherever I'm needed. So
all those other duties as assigned.
Yes.
All that fun stuff. We have a couple of quick fun stories that are like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then we get a couple of them that are just like, wait a minute. The first one today is about the moon. This one got a little bit less prior notice, I think, than a lot of these other missions that were going up over the last 6 months. But Japan landed on the moon. Only the 5th country to pull it off, which is really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. It didn't go off quite as planned, but it did go off pretty well. I mean, considering over 50% of them never even make it and land on the moon safely enough to continue to work. Their lander made it there, sent out 2 robotic probes, has unfurled its solar sails, etc., solar panels to collect energy and everything. The only problem is it fell over on its side as part of the landing.
Oh, I didn't see that it fell over on its side, too.
Yeah. So what they did, let me see if I've got the, they do not have the picture of it yet. I saw an artist rendering of what they think it looks like. But basically the solar panels, instead of being propped open and taking in the sun like normal. And remember, on the moon, you get 2 weeks of sun, then you get 2 weeks of night, 2 weeks of sun, 2 weeks of night. They tilted so they're only facing west. So instead of 2 weeks of sun, it's only going to get 4 to 5 days of sun. They're hoping they can pull off. But their 2 robotic probes both worked. They both have sent back pictures. And just as importantly, and I know you didn't see this one, Ann, because it's not even in the actual story. It was in one that came out today, is NASA was able to ping it with a laser, which is the first step in building the communications network for the moon for Artemis.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. They're going to get better cell service there on the moon than we get here at Main Library.
That's not hard to do.
Yeah. So it's one of those really good. It's like, well, it's not a perfect thing, but we all need to start rocket science. It's hard.
Are they going to be able to flip it back over since it's on its side?
No, they don't believe so. They won't know for certain until they can power it back up, because they had to put it into full battery lockdown effectively so that it can conserve as many batteries as possible until the sunlight hits the solar panels, reinvigorates it. And then I did see some speculation in the comment sections, don't know how much you can trust it, is that maybe they can power up their thrusters and tip it back over. But
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. They landed within 33 meters of where they wanted to, which is pretty unheard of. That's why they called it, the nickname for this mission was Sniper, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we've got one other science fiction story. That is, this one was sent in. Thank you, everybody out there. We had 4 different people email me this story in various forums this week. Disney has developed, they're calling it the Holo Tile, but basically it is an omnidirectional treadmill. Everybody knows how a regular treadmill works. There's a belt. You walk forward. The belt moves underneath your feet. This is, you get to walk. Let's move down here. Here's the pad right here. You can see in the picture. You walk across that pad in any direction, and it knows what direction your movement is in, and it can translate that onto the screen for you. Have you ever seen, did you see, yeah.
It's a pad. It's not just letting you go any way, which way you want. There's
seriously, yeah. If you walked in a circle around this pad, it would know that you are moving in a circle, or if you're moving across, so if you build this pad big enough, you could have the Star Trek Holodecks, where you walk into a room and it looks like you just keep on walking and doing things, or for VR or any of those sorts of applications that you possibly want. Obviously, Disney's doing this because they're trying to develop these big, huge room scale things. It's a pretty impressive little setup. And there's the link in the show notes for everybody so they can go and watch the little video that Disney put out about this.
Yeah, and I thought the video, I don't know if it's the same video you're posting about the event inventor.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he is, I did not know this, that he is the only, he is actually in the Inventors Hall of Fame as a Disney inventor.
And only the second. Walt Disney was the first.
Behind Walt for developing a lot of his original animation stuff. So,
He invented the lightsaber as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was another story this week that somebody sent me about that lightsaber. I'm like, we can't do 2 stories on the same guy. Sorry. But yeah, this is one of those ones. It's like, oh, this is cool. And this might just be like that stepping stone for everyone to come to the library, walk into the room, and be in an environment that you can go do.
Yes.
I'm just guessing I can convince the library to let me do this at some point. Right? Of course.
That would be very cool.
Then we've got 2 stories left here that are puzzling and complicated and fun. And the first one is all about how to see like a bee or a bird or a dog or a whatever you want to see as.
It is interesting.
Yeah. So the basic story here is these researchers took some standard cameras. They tweaked the sensors on them to read in certain wavelengths better, including UV light, which is invisible to the human eye, and then add that to some software. And what's super important about that is they made the software free open source, so anyone can go take the software and use it. You don't have to go. They're not like Adobe with a proprietary thing locking this in. Anyone's going to be able to use this for research, to do whatever you want to build. And you can just program this to look at objects, at pictures in the real world, and see exactly whichever animal, whichever type of bird, etc., that you want it to be, to show exactly what it is. I really want to try this out.
Yeah, looking at the videos, it kind of looks like it eliminates the things that aren't important. You're better able to see like the pollen on the flower and different things that,
like this first video here, this first picture that it's just the eye that's on a peacock feather.
Mhm.
So up here is what peacocks see. This is what humans see. Down here is what a honeybee would see. And here's what a dog would see of that same thing. Remember, dogs are not colorblind. I am, but dogs are not. But you can do this and show exactly how different things take different things, including if you were to wear sunscreen, and show how sunscreen actually changes how insects see you, because you can see where here in the picture where his arm starts to glow green. That's because that's what it is getting for what the UV light, which is being blocked by your sunscreen, what that causes your skin to look like, which I'm wondering, like, maybe this is the mosquito thing. Because I know they're attracted to CO2, but also is it, how do they do this? It's, how much more can we figure out?
Yeah.
And of course, go, Ann, go.
I mean, how they use their other senses at a heightened level, I would think as well. You know,
Yeah.
watching my dog smell things, that I wonder how, for some of the animals, I wonder how important the sight is compared to the smell. You know, I don't know how that works.
No, exactly. This opens up all of those things for us to be able to see. And as always, we give you the actual scientific paper for you to go follow up and read this and go see it. It's all free. You can go download it and dig into it. And there's tons of videos and things. Here's one extra one I'll throw up for you. Same butterfly, how different it looks to a human versus a bird. Birds see those big eyes here where humans are not. Totally different color scheme, totally different thing. This is why butterflies have evolved those particular color patterns, not because of the way we look, but because of how birds look at them. And it's just, wow.
Very cool.
Can you imagine what you could do with a film like this? Creating some kind of film, some kind of thing where you can change different characters' perspectives, or different, like, here's I'm going to really date myself here, the Shaggy dog. Here we go. The old-fashioned Disney movies like that. Now we film it from the dog's point of view. And now everything looks weird because that's what dogs really see, or that kind of thing. So
new dimension for pet TV.
Yeah. Wait, that is. Like they have those squirrel videos and the cat, the cat. Holy cow, you're right. Maybe it's if they can enhance those things to the correct color scheme for them now.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that matters or not. That's a really good thought, Ann.
I don't know.
This is what great science does. It gives us more questions and answers.
Right.
And speaking of, for our final story today, there is no answer. There's no right or wrong answer to this yet. And even after they get an answer in this court case, we may not know exactly what we're doing.
Question for the courts.
Yeah, I know. So in effect, what's happening is there's a photographer who has a picture of Miles Davis, famous musician. Go listen to his stuff. Amazing. There's a tattoo artist. She is very talented. She does very good stuff. She's a celebrity person just doing tattoos. Here's the original picture. Here's the image of her doing the picture. And the Miles Davis estate, the people in charge of the stuff, are suing her for copyright violation for copying the picture.
And that picture that you're showing is interesting because that photo's right there in the background, so it's pretty obvious that that's what she's going on.
Yeah. And That's the thing. So are you allowed to use that image and create something off of it? Or do you need to get prior permission first? For example, the artist who took this photo said he makes on average, let me see if I can find the exact number. It's around the 60. He licenses that photo and he makes $85,000 a year from that photo, that one photo alone, for licensing its use out to people.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they ever send, or if they would send like a cease and desist,
Yeah, I know. So there's two reasons this story came out in my feeds and everything like that. One, the copyright. Remember, we just talked about this at the beginning of the year. Disney with Steamboat Willie and Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. Those are now in the public domain. So you could do anything you want with Steamboat Willie like this, or the original Winnie the Pooh. But this is still under copyright image, so you can't just copy it. But is a tattoo a copy of a picture? Or is it a new use, a new transformative is what the correct term is in copyright law. Is it a transformative use, which means you've taken something and you are inspired by this original and now you create something very close to it but in a different medium or a different idea? And where does that line get drawn for who's allowed to do what?
Mm-hmm.
And can you take a guess who the next big industry that's looking at this lawsuit is? Transformative use of your images for AI in Midjourney. Or all the other programs.
Mm-hmm.
One of the more complicated things here is being a tattoo transformative, number one. And number two, is she making money on her doing this tattoo, creating the tattoo, because she is famous and she's famous for doing tattoos. And so she's making money off of the image by doing the tattoo of the image. And yeah, this is not the last time we're going to hear this case. This is going to take years, my guess is, by the time it winds its way all through all the courts.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Do you think a tattoo is different enough than an image?
It depends how well you do it, I guess. I don't know. This is a tough one. And they, rightly bring up like Andy Warhol and, the things that he did. So, it's a fair question. I don't know if I have an answer for it.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong answers on this one.
Right.
Yet.
But
we're all just kind of speculating and trying to figure it out.
I think that the photographer has a good point. If I'd taken a photo and somebody else was putting it on their skin, would I want that to happen? I don't know.
Yeah. I know. And of course, one of the things with copyright violations is if you violate copyright and you produce a whole bunch of books as a violation of copyright, you have to destroy the books.
Yeah. Right.
This is a tattoo. And what happens to people who have images that they've had tattooed over the past 30, 40 years, and now all of a sudden any possible tattoo that you have is maybe going to get you in trouble? This is such a complicated, such a weird.
Yeah. It's a tricky one.
You have better things going on at Dania Beach there that are not this complicated. You have some fun stuff coming up.
Well, we are kicking off our film flashback series tonight. So we're starting with the Star Wars Episode 4. We're excited about that. That ties in with our 50th anniversary programming. We're going to be showing a different film from each decade for the next several months. So we're excited about that.
And I looked over your list of stuff for just for the next week or so here. You have things for kids, for adults, for seniors. You have college stuff. You have everything going on in your little library there.
Thank you. Thank you. We're be happy to have people sign up and come to our programs.
And I was like, there's craft time, there's yoga, and there's story time all on Tuesday.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, you guys, yeah, this is the fun of being in a nice little local small branch.
Yeah.
You get to cater to exactly what your audience wants and pull it off.
They did a DIY t-shirt program earlier today. So we got things going on.
Pay attention, folks. Broward.org/events. Some of them are online for those of you outside of South Florida. Some of these things are online too. Go take a look at it. Let's toss up our final slide. Thank you so much for being here, Miss Ann.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
If there is a librarian or library you want to see featured on the show one week, go hit that subscribe button. Creation Station at Broward.org. We'll see everybody next week.